All right. Hello, Raf.
Hello, how are you
How
doing?
are you today?
I'm doing
You
great.
good?
Good morning
Yeah.
or good night.
Morning. Yeah. Good night here. Thank you for tuning in today, even though it's a really early morning for you in
Yeah,
NYC. I think 9 a.m. Right?
yeah, it's fine. 9 a.m. 9 a.m. is a
Yeah, and
decent
it's
time.
yeah, and it's not on your day off or something, so you still need to work. So I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
You coming in and tuning in a lot.
My
Appreciate it a
pleasure.
lot. Yeah. So welcome everyone. So I think there are a few already people here. So gonna say hi to everyone as well for tuning in. Thank you so much. And oh, sorry. Yeah. Um, so I think oops, sorry, my connection was lost before. Uh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So yep. Uh, yeah. I think let's get started. So I think So like Raf and I met in Substack. I think we uh, I think from my post or your post, I forgot. But I think few months ago we met on Substack. I think I've been enjoying Substack for quite a while, for a few months. I think it changes how I also treat my photos, on how I upload my photos in the internet, and to appreciate more by telling a story behind the photos, not only like the photos. So we met there, and then I think the trigger was like recently I bought my very first professional printer, and Raf also inspired to buy one as well, like
Yeah.
literally the same one.
Yeah.
So and then I think since then we talk a lot, quite a lot, in a private message about printing, about papers, photography, and etc. And then I think why we don't. Yeah, I mean, Raf also inspired me why we don't take this conversation to live. So I think it's a really great chance for us to just talk and maybe can have a conversation to others to like be useful to us to others too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to
Yeah.
have someone with the same printer model when to
Yeah.
exchange experience when each test you do costs money, right? Paper, ink.
True.
So it's good to have some tips from someone who got
Yeah.
the very same printer model.
Yeah. Yeah. I think yeah. Because previously, are you doing darkroom printing?
No, I did
No.
not get into that rabbit hole. I live in a small apartment, and
Yeah.
there are two things I told to myself that I would not start in 2025. One of them is vinyls, like music, and the other one is printing. Printing I already started.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
yeah, when I got the printer, this the box is huge because it comes like a printer is a fragile thing, right? So the
Hmm.
packaging is huge because there's lots of cardboard and foam to protect it. And my wife
Yeah.
was like, "Where are you gonna put that?" And I'm like, in the gaming table, in the gaming desk. So I got a gaming rig. I put the monitor on the side, and the printer is there, occupying 85% of the table. So
So it's now printing table, not gaming table, right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think yeah, darkroom printing. So I think it's the approach. It's quite similar in my opinion, like pro printing, darkroom printing, because I think from my experience doing a normal printing where we just print, there is no ICC profile, there is no color calibration, there is no test print. While in the darkroom, we also do test print in terms of like exposure and then uh, like colors correction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think it's quite similar, but the thing is the paper in professional printing is super expensive. So
It is.
I
Yeah.
agree with you that when we
Yeah.
share like a same printer,
Yeah.
it's really useful for us.
Paper can
Yeah.
can go. I was looking paper yesterday to buy, and the A3 Plus size fine art smooth. It's like $5 per paper. Just the paper without the ink
Five.
and the investment you do in the printer, right?
Yeah.
So, and also the photo you should take to print it as a photographer,
Yeah.
like the
Yeah. Yeah.
and that's interesting because many people think, oh, $30, $40, $50 in a print is expensive, but they don't consider the investment the person did. And when
Yeah.
you do at home, I use a calibrated monitor, so here goes more
More
200
expensive.
something into this little device here to calibrate the monitor, the things you put in the
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
screen to calibrate
The
and have
screen. Yeah.
color accuracy. So it's a lot involved. Plus the
Yeah.
knowledge you should have to
Yeah.
to do the right thing, and the framing and the. But it's very delightful when something materializes into something you can touch.
Yeah.
When looking
Yeah.
toward that reflects light instead of emitting light, which is a screen, when you look
Mm.
toward that reflects the light, it touches different because depending on the angle you look, it's different because whatever light is inciting. So it's printing is awesome. But we
Yeah.
were you were talking about Substack, right? The
Yep.
platform. So I'm liking Substack a lot. My Substack is cameraclara.com.
Yeah.
And because I'm a fan of the long form of writing big text, showing images in high definition, in high quality. Substack doesn't compress the images, which is great.
Mm.
So when you do a large image in a post, people can see all the details and everything.
Mm.
And one of the reasons why my Substack is not properly indexed on Google is because there are too many large images.
Mm.
Because
Yeah.
Google don't like the crawler, when it passes.
Mm.
So it's but I like it. I like Substack, and I'm finding a great film community on Substack as
Mm.
well of people.
Yeah. I do agree with you. I think the main thing that what made me feel really love Substack so far is that people connect. Like
Yeah.
people don't just like your post, but
Hmm.
people commenting,
Yeah.
like, and then sharing also their
Yeah.
experience if they related to the
They
post
read, right?
they read. Yeah. Yeah. And that's like pretty surprising for me at first.
Hmm.
Oh, people read my post, even though
Yeah.
like it's yeah, it's I just sharing my process or something.
Yeah.
People read. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And I, as a writer, I write a lot. I think it's easier to create content on that form because when
Mm.
you create a video, you have to edit the video, and then the files are huge, and then
Mm.
editing video consumes lots of time. It's also a
Yeah.
great media, but
Yeah.
sometimes for the long written form still has lots of value. And Substack is offering all that. It has no advertisement,
Mm.
right?
Yet.
Yeah. People read.
Not yet.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah. What is reading? What do they eat? How do they behave?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
been great. So to give you an indication of how that interaction is, both negative influence and Renato are people I met from Substack, and I
Mm.
posted in there that we are going live on YouTube. You see, they interact more. People on Substack, they interact more. They're
Yeah.
not very passive. Because it's a platform that promotes you to create something, right?
Yeah. And
So
yeah, I think it's also because article based
yeah,
platform.
yeah,
So by you know
yeah. It's more
the
academic.
intention at first when you open,
Yeah,
it's already different, right? The
yeah.
intention, oh, I want to read, and then I want to engage or commenting or something.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
when opening Instagram, for example, the intention is to maybe reels now, not really
Yeah.
photo. Yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it ultimately all depends on where the big tech company who owns the platform wants it to go, right? If they want to use the user's information to train an LLM model, or if they want to use the user's information for a more noble purpose, like informing and portraying quality to whoever is consuming things on that platform. Substack so far has no ads. Their shareholder ambition and things like that is not rotten yet, right? Because in other platforms, for each post, there's two ads, and it's annoying. And if you follow profiles of companies and things, people selling things, that accounts as well. So I asked myself why I was seeing so many ads on Instagram, and it's because I was following Nike, Adidas, Canon, Fuji, and they post ads as users. So you end up watching ads from the platform, the paid ads, and then the organic ads from. And then when you realize you're watching 50-50, you are watching 50% ads and 50%, like it's crazy the amount. So
Yeah.
Substack is awesome. I like it. I enjoy. I like being
Yeah.
there. I
I
think it's
enjoy
the
it so
future
far
of
as well.
I think it's the future
Yeah.
of social media.
Yeah, I do really enjoy it a lot too. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean I met you, I met Negative Influence, Justin, and I met a lot of great people who I have connected to, talking to a lot as well. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I also agree with you about YouTube. Sometimes in YouTube take more effort to say something
Hmm.
because it's on a video form. So I need to
Yeah.
also think more about, like, let's say, metaphor.
Yeah.
So I want to say something and then I want to say it visually through video. So I
Yeah.
need to do metaphoring something, or
Yeah.
like, and it takes time a lot, like shooting footage and then editing and everything.
Yeah.
And
Renato
yeah.
posted an interesting statistic.
Oh yeah. So I just know in Brazil we have a 100 million readers. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Wow.
digital paradise for the long written
Wow.
form. Yeah, and I
Wow.
have I have cameraclara.com, which is a publication where I write in English, and I have fotografiacotidiana.com.br that where I post in Portuguese. And there's lots of interaction as well. So I'm posting on Substack in two languages on two different publications. And they're copied. They are just like the Portuguese version of the English posts. Because there are some things that I offer for the English audience that I don't offer for the Brazilian Portuguese reading audience, which is like sometimes I put affiliate links, and then if I put I have to use Brazilian store to put the affiliate links in the posts in Portuguese. And the things I offer, like if people want to buy prints, for example, like I'm in the US to sell a print to Brazil, it's different. But so I run two publications in Substack, but they are the same, just with different, just localized to each different audience. You know?
Yeah. I yeah, I think I relate to that because I also post in English on Substack and in note.com for Japanese.
Ah,
Sometimes I do just translation, converting my English to Japanese or vice versa. But sometimes there are topics that only, I think, specifically for Japanese only.
yes, exactly. Like film photography is a big topic here in New York because it's accessible. People can buy film. That's just one example. But film photography in Brazil, it's far from the reality because it's extremely expensive. The films are imported. The labs who develop charge a lot. So I reduce a little bit of the exposure of I reduce the exposure of film to the Brazilian audience. So like no pun intended. But I talk less about film. For the I don't reduce entirely, but I do it less because I know it's far from their reality, right? Meanwhile, if there is an ongoing exhibition So last month, no, in June, there was an exhibition about Sebastião Salgado, which is a big Brazilian
Mm-hmm.
photographer. It's that one has more relevance in the Portuguese publication than in the
Mm.
English one, because although the people reading on the English is interesting for them to know what's going on, if they want to go to the exhibition, they will have to catch a plane. Nobody catches a plane to go to an art exhibition, right? Unless you're
Yeah.
very rich. So it's different realities. So I post different content. So film photography, for example, is something that uh, I post less
Mm.
in the Portuguese, but it
Mm.
still makes lots of sense to
Yeah.
to to shoot film, right? We're
Mm.
gonna talk about film soon.
Yeah. So yeah, one more thing, Justin, I think point out here. Um. Yeah. So
Yeah,
1 out of 5 adult U.S. adults is borderline illiterate. Hmm. Interesting. I think it's the same with Indonesian too. I
mm,
think in Japan, I believe I don't know specific numbers, but I believe is um, literate good enough. I think people read books, people buy books. I noticed from my own circle and everything. Also, but in Indonesia, I know people don't read books, and also in Indonesia, books the book text is higher, is high, is considered as an expensive stuff.
mm-hmm,
So people who write will get a very small amount of profit. So people don't want to be a writer because it's not making their like rich. So
mm-hmm,
it's complicated, it's systematic, and then it's ended up people also don't read books. So it's really complicated.
mm-hmm,
Um, yeah, so I think it's a quite similar with the US.
mm-hmm. So your
Yeah.
most of your audience does film. You talk a lot about film, right? Film photography.
I think so. I think film photography. I think when I first started photography, it's always film.
Mm-hmm,
I tried digital multiple times,
mm-hmm,
but always ended up on like resell the camera again.
mm-hmm,
I don't I don't know why. I mean people say maybe like oh film slows me down etc. The maybe a little bit cliche,
mm-hmm,
but I think I just love the act of doing the
mm-hmm,
act of doing film. I love like shoot and then drop it to uh, film lab,
mm-hmm,
get the print, sorry, get the film back, scan
mm-hmm,
myself at home, and
mm-hmm,
etc. So I just love doing, I just love the act of doing film photography, and then love doing, trying out little different kind of film. Back then, it was really cheap. It was really cheap. I can shoot different film like every day, literally every day. Now
mm-hmm.
it's like crazy
How
expensive,
much
right?
how much it is to develop in Japan? 30 a roll of
In
35 millimeter.
Japan, it's pretty expensive compared to Indonesia. I don't know in US. Compared to Indonesia, it's pretty expensive. For example, in Japan, sorry, in Indonesia first. In Indonesia, you can like I think $3, $3
Perfume?
for per film, and then there usually the film lab have a package of $8, $8 per 3 film.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's cheaper than
in
here.
it's cheaper. Yeah, in
Yeah.
Japan. Meanwhile, in Japan, I think develop and scan with a good enough file for print can be like $20 around.
Yeah. Same thing around here. Here, a cheap price is $9 just for developing. That's
Mm,
considered cheap. I never saw less than that. And dev and scan. So the scan is what varies because you can choose the quality if you want
mm,
Frontier, Noritsu, TIFF, JPEG. Color correction, no color correction, but the scan goes, I think, from 10 to 20. So if you get the maximum, the most expensive package in a regular lab, it's gonna cost you $30. It's almost a dollar per shot on a
Yeah.
36 exposure film, which you can get
Yeah,
there
it's
easily.
yeah. So plus the film,
Plus the
so
film,
45,
yes, yes. So it's
50,
expensive.
45. Yeah,
Yeah, but if you do at home, like the chemicals
exactly.
are $20 to $25, and you can develop 20 to 20. So if you do at home, it's basically $1 per film per roll, right?
Exactly.
And it's not hard. It's not hard, and I think it's. I'm not gonna say, oh, it's you connect you more with the art you create and this, like, that's true, but it's the main driver to heal my anxiety because I want to see them. And I don't want to wait to 3 weeks. So to me, the biggest advantage of developing at home is that I can shoot in the afternoon and have the photos scanned at night.
Like you did
And
on Kodak Color, right?
yeah, exactly like I did with the Coda Color. Like the film was released on Tuesday. Tuesday morning, I got my hands into one of each, Coda Color 100 and 200. I shot both in Chinatown. I developed them while the films were drying. I was writing something about them, and then at night I had the images scanned, developed and scanned. So it
Wow.
was, I think it was one of the first of the internet. And that's why film is so interesting for us content creators. Is because every single step between clicking, even before clicking, like showing the cameras and showing the viewfinder, every single step is very good for content creation, right? When you go out to shoot and you take a photo and you don't have the instant feedback yet, it gives you time to think about what to write and what content to create about that photo. When you develop, the process is so interesting and peculiar that you can get the camera create tons of footage, tons of content about that process, just that process alone. So it's so rich for content creation. You can write about even a roll of film that you develop and you fail in the development and it comes all blank. It's good content creation because you can talk about how film is brutal, how if you're not paying attention you get screwed. So everything in the film photography is very rich for content creation, for internet content creation, for us to create content about it, write, do what we love, you know. So I think it's an interesting approach for content creation. And also what makes film interesting in my opinion is that two major things. One is helping you developing your artistic signature, your artistic look, the way your images look like, because the colors and the grain and the dust the film has and everything is embedded in that film stock. So if you always shoot that film stock, you will end up creating an artistic signature based on the characteristics of that film stock. So, for example, if you shoot a lot of Cinestill 800T and you publish these photos consistently, you will be known as a photographer who does the halation. People don't know what exactly this is. They don't know what halation is. They don't know where it comes from, what causes it, what film causes it. On the digital world, you will be understood as the photographer that has that specific signature. Same thing if you only shoot black and white films, because whatever reason you only can process black and white at home, whatever. But film helps you developing that consistent artistic signature, which is something very important in photography. Because if you do black and white today, and then next week you experiment with different Fuji presets, and then you do raw files extremely edited with vignetting and lots of trying new presets, you struggle on developing that consistency, that signature, which makes it harder for you to get known. You're a
Yeah,
graphic
yeah,
designer. You know what I'm
yeah,
talking about, right? So
yeah,
also film eliminates that, right? The look comes built in, baked in the film stock you are using. And if you always use the same, that's your signature. Easy.
yeah,
In a world where we have lots of choices for everything, having that limitation is mind releasing. it's satisfying. There's something called the paradox of choice by a psychologist called Barry Schwartz. He says that the most options people have, the higher are their chances to freeze, because you create anxiety and then people don't choose anything. They just give up. It's like when you go to a store to buy some jeans, pants, and then you're determined to buy that jeans. And you go in the store and you see 15 different colors, 25 different types, like slim, long neck, and then you choose two, and then you have a decision of like, okay, now I have to choose between these two. When a user or when someone is in charge of choosing something, it creates stress, and then you open space to think, never mind, I'll think about these jeans later, because human beings are lazy when they need to think, when they need to take a decision. But if you cherry pick, if you pinpoint and bullseye do offer only the jeans that people are looking for, the chances of them buying is way higher. And that's the reason why, for example, Apple, when they release an iPhone, they make easy choices for the users to choose from: color, screen size, and storage. That's easy choice. They don't have to choose between a processor that is more optimized for graphics, another one that is more optimized for, it's color, size, and display. It's easy choices. Like my mom can say, oh, I don't need a very big screen, I don't use too much data, and I like purple. They pick, the right iPhone. So that's the paradox
Easy
of
and
choice.
fast, yeah.
That's the paradox of choice. Film is tightly related to the paradox of choice. You choose a film stock, and that's the only choice you do. Which film stock I'm going to use? From that moment you choose that film stock, your images will look like that. Where, in the other hand, on the digital world, with a raw file is an open canvas. You have to put your color grading, you have to put your signature, and if you are not very mature into what you're doing, and you know that you're always looking for the same look, it's very tempting to deviate and choose something that is new. A new preset pack that you get, a new, adaptive editing that you do on Lightroom. It's very easy to fall into that temptation of paying attention to other things than the photography. And that's why you end up with a bunch of photos out of a photo walk on digital that don't have too much value, don't have too much of the... So film, I'm not going to say that film is better than digital. There is no better here. Because also a common discussion is like when you talk about film, they say, but which one is better? It's not about the one being better. It's about what you prefer. If you consider image quality per se, digital is better. Because one ways of digitizing a film image is taking a picture with a DSLR camera. It's called DSLR scanning. If you Google for that, you're gonna see tons of things. Behind me, I have a rig with a camera pointing to a light source right there. That's a Fuji GFX medium format, right? And I used to scan my negatives. So in terms of image quality, I would not rely on a digital camera. Digital were not good, right? But in terms of curation and going out and printing your artistic signature, film is better because the look is baked in, right? So there is no better. Sometimes I shoot digital a lot, and I come back home and I look to the images and they all look very sterile, which may be good for if you're doing fashion or product photography or, weddings, bar mitzvah, events. You have the chance of instant seeing what you photographed. So if you're in a studio shooting with lights and flashes, you can double check, right? Film requires you knowing more what you're doing. So there is no better. There's the... And I like film, I like digital, I like photography. We can never forget that should be about the content, right? It should be about the photos you're doing. Turns out that films helps you focusing on that, right? So that's why I personally, I'm not gonna say I think film is better. I'm gonna say I am in the mood right now of shooting film. Right? Film is awesome, and in 2025 I already shot, developed, and scanned at home since January 200 rolls of film.
so
That's
far.
basically one every 2 days. So far, yeah, we are in October.
Yeah.
So just in Japan, I visited Japan in April. I shot 28 rolls of film. I developed and scanned all of them. When I came back, I built a developing plan. I scanned three at a time. I visited multiple cities in Japan: Tokyo, Osaka, Nara, Kyoto, Sapporo.
Mm,
And I shot like 5 rolls of film on each of these cities. I never developed all the film rolls from one city together in the tank, because if I mess up, I don't want to lose the
the
register
other.
the registry
Yeah.
I did from an entire city. So I developed Tokyo 1, Kyoto 1, and Sapporo 1 in the same tank. And then
Mm.
Tokyo 2, Kyoto 2, Nara 2. So if I
I
if
think
I mess it up,
yeah. Yeah. I think it's yeah, you also titled your post Kyoto 1, Tokyo
that's
2,
from the
kind of like
film
that.
roll. Yeah, that's
They're
why I have
from the
like
film.
Tokyo
Yeah.
1, Tokyo 2, Tokyo 3. That's the specific film roll. And then
Yeah.
when I was photographing, I marked the films.
Yeah.
And I used an app, like I was the maniac of metadata in that Japan trip.
Yeah.
I shot 28 rolls of film, and I used the mobile app to
To
register, to make notes of the aperture,
uh
exposure, film, location, time and date, and
mm,
everything, including the location, because it's a mobile app. So when you
mm,
press the button to add a new photo, it gets where the phone is.
mm.
And then that after I realized that's why my phone battery was draining, because every shot I took, I was turning on the GPS on the phone.
Yeah.
But I have full active data for all the 28 rolls of film I did in Japan, including location, time, date, camera, lens. There is a tiny app that does that. I was
Mm,
using an app called LogMe.
mm.
I have to create a post about that app. It's interesting for travel, and I
Okay.
have metadata for all of them.
For
Like,
all of them.
yeah,
All
I can
right,
share my
great.
screen and show you, so you see.
Yeah.
It's nice to have that information for analog shots, but it requires a
Mm.
commitment that
Commitment. That's
it's
true. Yeah. Especially when you're doing travel, because your your activity is not only shooting film. You also travel, foods, scenes, right?
yeah.
Everything, and then agree that you need a commitment. Sometimes for me, I do a summer trip, and then I did what you did only for the first day.
Yeah, it
My
does.
commitment is gone.
Yeah, when I see
So
people that I'm doing this, they say like, I don't know if I would have the commitment, the patience to do that, and I'm like, yeah, it requires a lot of commitment. And I think that
yeah.
because it requires that level of commitment, it helps you refining your work,
Mm,
because you don't you shoot more deliberately, because you don't shoot like ducks and pigeons and cute animals you see. That doesn't worth the effort of opening the app, doing the
mm,
registration, and then when you develop, you're gonna have to spend time, energy, and money on that.
mhm.
I'm focusing a lot on CineStill 800T because I want to see if I get a sponsorship from CineStill.
That's great.
So
Great intention.
yeah, yeah. So
I'm gonna go back a little bit on your statement where there is no better between digital and film. Because I do agree with that. I think again, it's always back to your preference and your goals and your
yeah,
intention as a photographer.
yeah,
Because for me, I think which one that make like inspires you to shoot more, which
yeah,
one.
yeah.
So for
Exactly.
me, film inspires me to shoot more. Then I choose film. Maybe
Yeah,
for other people, it's digital.
yeah.
Then it's better for them, right?
No,
So
totally,
I
totally. For
yeah
me too. Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh
I don't think there is any
yeah.
better.
I
Yeah.
usually do comparisons in my Substack between the real film stock and a film simulation, which can be
Mm,
done by a preset, a software, or the Fuji embedded film simulations. And I built a
mhm,
software that gets both images, puts them side by side, and slice in the middle. And then I
mm,
get a dual mount plate, and I put two cameras, one digital with the film. I mean, one digital shooting raw, and one film camera with the film. So if I want to compare the Portra 160 Fuji film simulation with the real Portra 160, I go out on the street, I put the cameras I don't have the plate here. It's in the living room, but I put two cameras on the plate side by side. I put a strap on the right side of the right camera, on the left side of the left camera, and I ridiculously walk on the street with two cameras. Everybody stops me on the street to say, "Oh, what rig is that?" I have tens of people talking, and it's interesting because I make new connections. And then I come back home, I scan, I treat digitally, and for some film stocks, the digital files are they are very the digital files are an open canvas for you to do. Which again, when you are dealing with customers and professionally speaking, it's good because if the customer doesn't like the treatment, you can change that,
Yeah,
right? Oh, I don't like the
yeah,
colors, I don't like this. You can change that. Not every photographer can impose their signature like that. You usually ask the what types of photos do you want, what color you like, and things like that. So digital gives you more of that flexibility. But the film on the other side, it's so beautiful. The images when you develop and you look at them, it hits so different. We now only have to find ways to commercialize and make film. I've seen some wedding photographers doing film a lot
a
and
lot.
charging like a lot as
Crazy.
well.
Yeah,
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 I'm talking about like 25 grand per wedding
yeah, yeah, yeah,
to shoot
yeah.
weddings on film.
4 grand in Indonesia. I know one Indonesian film photographer, very famous, focus on wedding, 4 grand
Yeah,
one session.
which is a lot of money in Indonesia, right?
Yes,
If
yes,
you can tell by the price of developing a roll, which is $3.
yeah,
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 so you imagine. But yeah, I love film. I think that the baked in look makes it different. It's either the good thing for personal and storytelling, great for storytelling, especially because you think more about the metadata. And when I say metadata, I say like data that circumvents the shot. While on digital, because it's so common and you shoot so much, right? Some
Mhm.
people say, well, if you think limitations promotes creativity, go out with a 1 gigabyte SD card and put in your camera, and you're gonna have like 36 exposures. I know, but I also have the option of deleting them. And when I see, I will not accept the fact that the SD card is full. When I want to shoot something, I'm going instantly there and I'm gonna delete a shot to make space for that new one. So
Mm.
when we say about imposing restrictions, we have to impose restrictions that we won't be able to counterfeit, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, you
true.
see,
Yeah,
Jason just from Negative
yeah,
Influence podcast just said that.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah, true. I noticed Justin has also shoot film from his wedding project or something, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, yeah. I do
He's an
believe.
awesome photographer. He has a great eye
Yeah, I
for
know, right?
pictures he posts.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. It was really awesome. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe because it's film automatically share the value itself. I don't know. Or because people already know, oh, he's good on film. This photographer is good on film. And then they know to shoot film requires a lot of grinding in the past. So you
Hmm.
can have something now. So they more appreciate, okay, this price is fine for him or for her. So
Yeah.
yeah, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think you say it like camera commercialized as a photographer, as an artist,
Hmm.
whatever you name it. Um, how is it's going on New York? I can share what how it's going in Japan.
Yeah.
Like how
So,
as a career as a photographer, for example, making
uh-huh.
photo books, zines, prints, everything, or taking clients. What do you think? Like
Yeah.
in NYC.
Interestingly, and I realized that last week, there's lots of people taking photos in Manhattan because it's a very touristic place. And you can tell when someone is from the city and when someone is from the outside, just by looking to the way they walk, the way they dress, the way they look to the skyscrapers, right? If they are always looking up, they are not from here. Three, in like for every 5 people I see with a camera, I can say that 2 of them is carrying a film camera. And I always observe, like as a photographer, you always observe other people's equipment. And I always went out to Manhattan for taking pictures with my camera. And I always observed, and I've seen an increasing amount of film cameras on hanging on people's necks. I can safely say that 2 out of 5 is carrying a film camera. It's crazy. Everybody is trying film right now, which is good for labs because not all these people are developing at home. Like I have a friend named Kimi. He works at a photo lab called Gelatin Labs, and he made a study on the Japanese market and film photography that was released in a magazine called Mono in Japan. And he made that research, so he has lots of data about the Japanese market. But here, I don't have a research. I only have what I observed. I see like 2 out of 5 people with a film camera. And I think film is increasing a lot. And it's interesting when you were carrying a film camera and someone else is also carrying a film camera. When we cross paths, it's instant conversation because film is
Yeah.
so interesting. Oh, what camera are you using? What film stock you have in? Do you develop your stuff? Do you print? So it's like, and when you have a digital camera and you cross with someone with a digital camera, it's just like just another person with a camera, you know. The film you see and you oh, nice camera. What film do you have in? I love that question. What film do you have in, to break the ice and start a conversation with another film photographer?
Yeah.
When I see them on the street and I see them with a film camera, oh, what nice camera. What film do you have installed? Right. So that's an
Do
excellent.
you try this film? Like, do you try Kodak Color?
Exactly.
Oh,
It's an awesome icebreaker, you know. And then we exchange Instagrams, and I would say that like 20% of people that follow me on Instagram is from film photography that I met on the street, and that's great because it has a high interaction when I post something and etc. I have a little QR code that I hang on my bag. Let me get it. Hold on. So that's my film camera bag, and here I have this. This has my Instagram
Instagram
thing.
QR.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm always carrying it, and then connect with me, and then I get it. People get their phones, they scan it. That's how I make connections with people that I find on the
Nice.
street, find shooting
Nice.
film.
So yeah, I think true. Yeah, I think like back to the commercialize as a photographer. I also want to share in Indonesia, to be more specific. Indonesia is a huge country. Have you been into Indonesia, by the way? Not yet.
No.
Okay. So Indonesia is a huge country with a lot of island, right? And then I think the economic situation and everything is also like huge gap. So there is a very rich and a very poor. And then I think it's an interesting thing is in Indonesia. I mean, we can, of course, there is a way to do like selling arts, like selling prints, photo books, and etc. It's possible. But I think the road to go that way is more tough compare, like, let's say here in Japan. Like, for example, in Japan, I think literally anyone, based on my experience, I think literally anyone can do exhibition because a gallery is literally everywhere from the cheapest one to the most expensive one. So you can choose from the very suburbs area to a very high foot traffic area. So you can choose. So I think 2 years ago, I did my solo exhibition in Shibuya, and then I was I was just arrived about a year in Japan, and then I don't have any connection here in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw this is a great gallery, and then I want to do something like here. And then because the foot traffic is really good, all people using public transportation
Uh-huh.
here in Japan. Um, I put a poster in the streets, and then people saw maybe, and then oh, there's a pretty interesting exhibition. I just want to come in, right? And then it's only 2 days. Again, I don't have a strong connection here. Have some Indonesian friends who come. So I think by 2 days, I think more than 150 people coming, which is great for start for me. And I think a half of them is uh, none of my friend. So half of them is my friend. So either my Indonesian friend or like a work colleague. Another half is someone who found my poster in the streets and decided to come
Mm-hmm.
and then buy something inside, like my photo books, my postcards, prints, and etc.
Mm-hmm.
And I got like 3 grand for 2 days
Wow,
revenue. Yeah,
that's very
from
cool.
selling photo books,
Yeah,
selling the
Japan has a
pictures I see.
very interesting culture regarding the physicality of paper and art and stationery and
Yeah,
these things. That's great to hear. So I already know
yeah.
who to contact when I want to do a gallery
Let's
in
go.
Japan.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Exactly.
let's
I
arrange that.
really want to help people. I think I told my friend in Indonesia, if you come to Japan, say for 2 weeks and want to plan have a 2 days exhibition here, I can definitely help. And the thing is in Indonesia, you know, in Indonesia, even in the capital city, public transportation is not that great.
Hmm.
So when you and also the amount of the gallery is not as much as we have in Japan. So that when you, let's say me, I want to do an exhibition in one place. So people need to ride a car, be in a traffic jam for 1 hour only to to visit my exhibition. If it's not my best friend, I don't
Yeah,
think
not even
people
your
will do that.
mom would.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yeah,
So I think in Indonesia, if you want to be in this way, like selling art, I think you need to have a big audience first.
yeah,
In my opinion, you need
yeah,
to have a big audience first.
yeah.
But I think for Indonesia, because the wedding culture is huge in Indonesia, we are like a largest Muslim population, and then there is yeah, Muslim people have
The
some kind
wedding's a
of
big
like
thing. Yeah,
weddings is big thing. So uh, wedding photographer is a big thing here. So if you want to have a career as a photographer and choose path in terms of like wedding photographer, I think there is a path to do that, and you can grind to go there. It's easier to go
interesting.
there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And how about in NYC about like selling art, printing, photo books, zines, etc.?
I don't have too much exposure to that yet. I'm most because there's lots of competition. There's lots of everything, right? If you if you shake a tree asking to for a trombone player to fall from the tree in New York, it's gonna be you're gonna have like 15 trombone players falling off the tree. You know,
Mm,
there's a lot of everything. So there's lots of competition. There are people selling art on street fair, things like that. But there is an issue here, which is the winter, right, and the
mm,
cold weather. So people has to go to indoors galleries and stuff like that.
mm,
And the places like the New York subway, for example, they have a program where artists can go there and play music in the stations, for example, right?
mm,
I wish that got extended to other types of art as well, not just the noisy one, right? Which is what the city actually don't need.
Mm,
Because there's lots of sirens and stuff already. I wish there were people selling more forms of silent art, photographs, paintings,
mm,
in these public spaces as well. It's too much of the entertainment industry in terms of multimedia and video and people shouting and trying to claim for the attention, and not that much of the more silent and like visual only thing with no audio. You know what I mean?
mm.
So yeah, but there's lots of spaces as well. There's lots of so Peak Design, the brand that does
Yeah, the
bags and
brand,
stuff.
the back. Yeah.
Yeah, they opened a store, a physical store in Soho in Manhattan, and every other weekend they are doing photographic meetups. And because they are like a high caliber store, sometimes they get Fujifilm to go there. Sometimes they get a lab to go there. That's very interesting because it opens the let's talk about photos, right?
Mm,
They promote print sharing. So you bring your prints, you get other people prints, you make contacts and things like that. It's not very commercial as like people going there with the intent of buying something from you. It's
mhm,
like Big Design wants to drive visitors to their store, and they're very cool. They make these events, they fund the events, they bring food, they bring a DJ, they bring beverages and stuff. It's very nice.
mm.
Other than that, there are photo walks, lots of cool photo walks. Last weekend there wasn't a photo walk that had 150 people, just film
Damn.
photography, just for film
Really?
photography. It was a guy that
100,
come that came from Utah,
150.
that paired with another studio film photography lab in Brooklyn, and then like they did a photo walk, a very cool one. There is lots of paid private studio works. There's tons of studios in Manhattan. Great pictures from big people like Annie Leibovitz. They
Mm,
come from New York. They have studios. The New York scene has people like Saul Leiter. There's like big
mm,
names of photography. Magnum Photography has a great archive in Brooklyn. And it's interesting because other day I was in a bookstore and called Dashwood Books. I went there to make a post for my publication, and there were two ladies talking with the owner of the store, and I was like listening to the conversation, and they were like, "Oh no, we work at Magnum, and we are involved with a project right now of digitizing slides, and we have hundreds of thousands of slides to digitize."
wow.
Some of them from like big photographers like Saul Leiter, Sebastian Salgado, and etc. And it's interesting because I opened my Instagram when coming back home and I saw an advertisement of Magnum selling those slides. So I was like, maybe these girls were connected with this project that I'm seeing here.
Yeah.
So New York has everything. It has from the tourists with their film cameras shooting skyscrapers, to private expensive studio photography, product photography, fashion photography, New York Fashion
Mm,
Week. There is labs, there's dark rooms. There is a dark room in Brooklyn called Dark Room Community. You can
mm.
go there, use the dark room to print. You can use the dark room to
Oh.
develop. That's how I got involved with developing, by the way, with my
Mm,
friend Kimi from Gelatin Labs bringing me there.
mm,
There's a lot of everything in Manhattan.
mm.
And I'm now into printing. I'm loving printing.
Mm.
So it's
Nice.
I'm now trying to find people that also prints stuff
Yeah.
to get
Dan
back to
here.
that.
I think Dan is in Japan right now. So yeah, he visiting Japan right now and say yeah, um, a lot of people their own space, which is yeah, which is true. It's really great. I think yeah, people here love to have their own small space to create something, also selling something in the same place. So people know the process, like
It's
pottery,
yeah,
painting, and everything.
that's a nice cultural thing.
Yeah, yeah. Talking about prints, we
Hmm.
both just got a pro printer.
Yeah, we
Um,
got the Canon.
exactly the same printer.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
was it?
It was
How
funny
was?
because you got the printer, you started posting a bunch of things about printer. I was already
Yeah.
inclined to get a printer, and then when I saw your posts, I saw like this guy can be an interesting person to exchange experiences and even create content together. I'm gonna buy a print too. And I bought the printer and I sent a message to you like, Rafael, look what you did. And it was a video of my wife saying like the printer is
Yeah,
huge.
yeah, yeah. And then I was like, it's not it. And then you keep saying it's not huge. It's not huge. I mean, I was
And
like,
it
it
is
is
huge.
huge. It is huge, Ralph. It is huge.
Yeah, yeah.
How was it? How was it so far? The experience
So
and everything.
it is great. I'm still discovering, and I'm doing with printing the same thing I did when I started with film photography. I got a sampler of papers. So I got this box here that has five papers of each. It's a package that comes with 20 papers because I'm still on discovery phase. It's exactly the same thing as I did with film. I bought one film of each to see which one I like most. Spoiler, Cinestill 400D. So it comes with five papers of platinum glossy, premium matte, semi-gloss, and luster. So I know how they behave. My favorite ones are the matte ones because I think it's more like art stuff. I also got, and this is another thing that printing at home also allowed me to do. And this is a photography tip, street photography tip that I got from a mentor of mine, which is like always have your prints in small size in an album. So if someone challenges you on the street, saying like you're taking photos of me and stuff like that, you say no, no, look, I am a serious photographer. Here's an album of street photography that I do. So it's not with you. I do that, right? So getting the printer now allowed me to do this. So I printed some shots with the small format. I wish I could print this in matte paper as well, but there it's glossy as you can see. But anyway, I'm gonna put this into a little album, and I'm going to put these in my bag. So the printer allowed me. Could I use an online printing service to do that? Of course,
Yeah.
But since I bought the printer to print bigger sizes like Ladder or A3 or A3 Plus, like the printer we have, why not?
Panoramic.
I just got these, and I printed as well. Ink charge is not as expensive as I thought it would be. Like the inks, they last lots of prints. We bought the Canon 300, which it is a professional printer, but it's not a commercial printer. So I call it a prosumer grade. And the reason why is because the Pro 1000, which is the next level, it gives you an estimate of cost per print, which is something
Yes.
you need if you're operating a business out of that. You need to know
Yes.
how much that specific print cost. Ours
Yes.
doesn't do that. So it all needs to be ballparks and estimations. So I got the
But
sampler.
yeah.
I'm still learning about the papers. I'm still learning on where I sign a photo, if I sign, if I don't sign, if I sell limited editions, if I. So what I have so far is I got an album just to catalog my things because I don't want them laying around my house and getting dust. So in this album, I'm just putting them in here. So my plan is when I decide selling a print, I'm printing on demand. Like I'm not printing to have the product available, and if someone wants to buy, I gave that product. I I put the picture, and if someone buys, then I print. Because I'm individual. I have to pay per printers. I don't want to
Yep.
print a bunch of things to have them laying around and then like it's sync cost. I want to
Yep.
reduce the sync cost as much as possible. So I'm printing on demand. What I am doing is actually when I offer a print for sale, I print one. And the reason why I print one is because I want to put that one in a frame, put that frame on the wall, take some pictures of it, and use that as the thumbnail or as the marketing material for
Product
that
image.
specific
Yeah.
print. Because it's about physicality. It's about having something you can touch. So yesterday I got this. All this I'm showing is like stationary stuff. So it's like paper. It's not. So I got these frames It's paper. It's made by paper. It's
Yeah,
very thin, right?
it's usually inside the frame you put that as a
Yeah,
border, right? Yeah.
yeah. So I'm reusing those. So I print one, I put it in here. I put on the table, I put on a wall, like double tape that on the wall with the print. Yeah. So I create the content, the material about that specific print. Because when you sell a print, if you just show a file, it doesn't have the same value as people previewing how that looks like in a wall, right?
Yeah.
So I'm reusing these things to have the printer inside and then take pictures. I can take pictures with a film camera of that and
Mm.
then offer that as the printing. And I realized that if you want to sell street photography prints, people have to be connected with the storytelling. Because
True.
if you take this picture here, for example, let me take it out of the. This is a picture of a guy walking, right? It's a very cool one. It's a Jew guy walking in front of a gas station. I was in a car in an Uber last week, and then I took it, right? I developed and everything. Who wants to have an unknown guy, like on their wall,
That's
right? Who
yeah.
wants to have that unknown guy walking? Who is that
Yeah.
guy? What is that guy doing there? I don't think there is enough punch for someone to invest money and put that random guy on the wall. So for street photography, which is different from landscape, because landscape you have a beautiful image, abstract image about nature. People like enjoying nature. But if you want to sell this, you have to tell the story. So you have to make people connected with the story of what generated this, right? So
Right.
my strategy to selling my street photography prints will be creating a Substack post where I explain where I was, what I was thinking, what is this guy doing there, how I took this picture. So give the most details as possible about the scene, and then put a button if you want to buy this print, click here. So I'm
Mm.
basically selling the storytelling. The print is just the
Yeah.
realization of that storytelling.
Oh, that's
And I
storytelling.
think
Yeah.
that works better for street photography prints because I'm not Saul Leiter. I'm not Sebastian Salgado.
Yeah.
I'm not in Magnum. So I still
Yeah.
don't have enough drive for people to buy my street photography prints because of who I am yet.
Yeah.
So I'm selling the storytelling, especially because once people know the storytelling, if this picture is hanging on their wall and they're receiving guests at home, they will have a little something to talk about that picture because now they know they are involved.
Mm.
Because printing and
That's it.
street
Yeah.
photography is complicated.
Yeah.
Because nobody wants to
Yeah.
have that unknown person hanging on their wall
Yeah.
looking at them. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of even
Yeah.
creepy. And I
Yeah.
found
That's
that selling the storytelling is the key for that.
yeah. That is also exactly what I wrote in my latest post on Substack, where I say like taking photos is totally different game with selling photos.
Yeah.
Because for me, who just started at this level, again, like you said, I don't think people will buy like an unknown face of someone who they don't know
Yeah.
hanging in their wall, right?
Exactly.
So, but at the same time, I don't want to also, when I photograph things, I don't want to also thinking that, oh, this is good for selling, but at the same time it's not connected to myself. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to have something in the middle. I still connected to the photo. At the same time, I still can have somehow revenue from it
Yeah.
by selling
Yeah.
prints. Yeah.
What type of paper do you prefer, matte or glossy?
Matte. I do really love this one. I'm gonna show you. Hanyamul Photoreg Braita
Mm-hmm.
Matte. I
How
do
thick is
really
it?
love this. It's 308 GSM,
Uh-huh.
100% cotton.
Okay.
Uh,
So it's about 80,
it's
80 pounds.
so the thing I love from this Photoreg Braita is that I don't know why I test both Canon made and Braita paper and brandless made
Mm-hmm.
paper with the same GSM, same thickness, and then somehow a very small details is come out in Photorec Berita. Like say I have a very landscape pictures, and then there are small window in the small houses,
Mm-hmm.
and then in this Met Berita we can get that small amount of shadings and
Uh-huh.
everything.
Uh-huh.
So I do really love this paper.
Yeah.
But I also try one really interesting paper which I also like. It's Ilford Wasi Torinoko. So
Mm-hmm.
Wasi, you know Wasi paper, right? It's a Japanese paper. Uh, so it's really interesting. It's not really thick. It's like 110,
Mm-hmm.
110
Mm-hmm.
GSM. But the thing is, the texture is really great. It's super great, the texture.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure if I can show the texture here, but the thing is, yeah, this is the washi
Mm-hmm.
have a texture. But the thing with washi is the pictures come out warmer than what you see on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to keep a warm level, you need to decrease a little bit of temperature if you
Mm-hmm.
want to print with the washi. Yeah.
Mm. When you decrease the temperature,
Hmm.
do you decrease in the software altering the picture, or are you doing the Canon professional print and layout software? Because they have a preview. I have the Canon professional print and layout opened here. If you want, I can show what I'm talking
I
about. If I can share my screen.
Sure. I do a soft proofing in Lightroom because Lightroom has a soft proofing feature where you can match with your ICC profile uploaded. So you can choose like photo, say Ilford Washi, and then I choose that. Oh, and then it's what's look like in Ilford Washi.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Do you
I'm
do you do you use Lightroom for soft proofing? Have you used that
no,
feature?
I don't. I
Not yet.
just export the Adobe RGB and then I do the pattern print in the Canon software. So if I am very picky with colors, it will print this, and each of these thumbnails have a color adjustment. You can have color
Interesting.
adjustments or brightness and contrast adjustments. So you can print that. And if you like one specific tile, let me increase the tile size so people can better see.
Oh, okay.
So you see, you can do small tiles. I mean, small differences and large differences, and you can change the size as well. So here I have 9 with different contrast. So more contrast and less contrast. This is similar to the darkroom printing. When you
Yeah.
print and you cover, right, the
Yeah. Yeah.
so if I'm
Cover
very
the.
picky about the color and contrast, I can print these test pages and go here in the software and change the color balance, the brightness and contrast in the software. So I don't out. So it's like non-destructive editing for the file. I don't change the and same with color. So cyan, magenta, and yellow. You can see that the ones on the top left are more green, and the ones on
Yeah.
the bottom right are more purple-ish.
Yeah.
The arrow color even funny coincidence because this software just does like different arrow colors,
Uh.
but yeah, it I can print that and test, but then that costs money. So that's why I think it's important to have a calibrated monitor because between all these prints, what do you think about printing this picture in a paper?
Yeah.
Do you
Yeah.
have
Yeah.
a
Sure. Let's do it.
yeah? So while
Yeah.
the printer prints, we can talk
I
about
think. Yeah. I think you have set up your camera for printing. No.
yeah.
Yeah.
Try to bring the printer camera on.
Let's see. I think you can. Okay. I'll show
Cool.
this one. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, it's let me. Okay.
Awesome. So
It's not echoing, right?
it is echoing for me.
Okay.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, I can hear, but it's really small.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's muted. It
Yeah,
shouldn't.
I know, right? It shouldn't. Okay, let's try. I think it's interesting for live
Yeah,
testing, printing,
let me print
live
this.
printing.
Yeah, so I'm sending the print job. And then, all right, we should not have echo now because it was not muted
Mm,
on the other camera that
mm,
is pointed to the printer. So the printer is like warming up, it's
yeah,
shaking.
yeah.
And
One question is sorry, I think can we make this yeah bigger?
yep.
One question is that so usually for me, I do test print. Actually, by the way, I just know the pattern print from you because it's hidden in the below. I don't scroll. So thank you for that. I'll test it. So usually I do it manually. So I edit one,
Mm-hmm.
increase something, decrease something, and then
Mm-hmm.
put in one file by myself. So a
Yeah.
lot of work. And then I do print using a brandless paper first.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm sure, oh, this is the top three, and I print the top three with a real, say, Photorite
Yeah.
Barita.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I do print those top three,
Mm-hmm.
and then finally when I choose one, I print again with
Yeah.
the final print. So it's a lot of work and it costs a lot of money, of course. Two paper, three paper
Yes,
for one
exactly.
print,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what how do you do? Do you do only pattern print, choose one, and then final print, or you do one more step or something?
So I printed one and I got a calibrated. So the printer is now asking me to go there and press start. Let me just
Yeah, please, yeah.
because the printing job gets sent to the printer and then we have to accept in there. So
Yeah.
it's getting it is already everything configured. So we're just gonna see the printer coming out, and it's a matte paper. The paper I'm using right now it's the this one premium fine art smooth. I'm using Canon papers. They have the ICC
Mm-hmm.
profile.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to use the ICC profile because paper
Of
is also a
course, yeah,
media,
yeah,
and if you print on a paper that doesn't have the ICC profile, the printer won't know what pigments and concentrations
yeah.
and things to use, and then the
And
colors will look
pressure,
different.
also pressure, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I think it's important to have a calibrated monitor because
Mm-hmm.
if you don't have a calibrated monitor and prints come out with a different color of what you see in the monitor, you will always have the doubt of which one is not accurate, if it is the monitor or the
Yeah,
printer. But if you
yeah,
have the monitor calibrated, you know that your monitor is a reliable reference, right? It's
right.
like when you're editing audio and you have the reference monitors, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you know that, and on the tests I did, color, I printed, I look at them side by side in the monitor and printer. The thing
Mm-hmm.
is, with the paper, you have to use a light source because paper does not emit
Yeah,
light; it reflects light, and the monitor
yeah,
emits light. So it's
yeah,
different. It's different technologies, different ways of displaying media. They will render differently, and according to the light you use, it's going to be more yellow or more blue or more red, right? If you have a blue light,
mm,
so I have these LED lights here. I can control the temperature. So I put on 5500 Kelvin, which is like natural white. And then I look to the prints. I look to the monitor. The colors are very accurate.
mm.
So I'm trusting what my monitor is showing me.
Calibrated, yeah.
Right? Yeah. So the printer is now printing a color image. And there's something interesting about the matte papers. They require a border.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm printing with a border. And initially I was mad because like, wow, why the border? I want to print full
Oh, actually, I can do full
with matte paper.
with math. Yeah, with animal, I do. So one, I have one orders. I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, of someone about a, a photo of mine. So he bought two photo, one with border and one without border, and I can do that hand using animal paper. I don't
Matte.
know.
Because
Math, math.
I was reading that when you choose a fine art paper that is matte on the Canon, it adds a border because the printing car, which is the thing you put the inks, when it passes very close to the border of matte paper, it can
Oh,
the
I
abrasion
think
of the ink, depending on how much ink you add, the
I see.
abrasion may bend the
Hmm.
paper, and then when the printing head passes, it can get the paper, and that's that's what I was reading. But even though printing with a border is good for budget
Yeah,
because it
yeah,
uses less ink.
yeah,
I have a friend who worked at Canon, and I told him, "What is your number one printing um, tip?" And he was like, "Print with a border. You're gonna save money." And
yeah,
especially because the in terms of area, the bigger it is, the more ink it uses because it's larger boundaries, right? So I just put my gloves to get. Do you
yeah.
also allow time for it to dry, or you just get it? And
For me, I usually dry it for 2 minutes,
all
cause,
right, I'm gonna
yeah,
put 2 minutes
one time,
there.
cause I also have the LED like yours, and then one time I did print, and then I immediately see the result, and then it's
Hmm.
still very dark because it's still wet somehow. So the black is very dark. So I rest it, dry it for 2 minutes, and then see after it's it's drying a little bit.
Uh huh. Yeah, I just
Um,
pointed the camera better. So
yeah,
from what I can see from here, it is looking very similar
with
to
what you have.
what I
Yeah,
am seeing on my screen. So
yeah.
yeah, it's when I get them side by side, I'm gonna be able to. This is a picture I did um, during the winter,
Mm-hmm.
and I did with no pretension of. I didn't know about Edward Hopper's Nighthawks painting
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because let me see if this is the
Sorry,
Nighthawk,
what? Yeah. Oh, it's
right?
very similar. Yeah.
This is the Nighthawks, and this is
Ah, yeah, 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 yeah.
my photo. So they're very similar, actually. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was a huge coincidence because when I took this photo, I sent to a friend, and he said like, "Wow, it looks like Nighthawks from Edward Hopper." By the time I was not very lectured into art, and I was like, "Who
Art.
is Edward? Who is what is Nighthawks?" And then I googled, and I saw like an article like, "Whoa!" And then I realized that this painting is a big reference, and this painting is very important in the art world. I was like,
Oh,
wow, that's interesting. I have a picture that kind of passes the same vibe,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Even the scene is similar. I mean
Yeah,
the
yeah, the
framing,
angle and everything.
composition. Yeah.
Yeah, I used Cinestill 800T. I was coming back from the city after a day work. I worked at the office in there, and
Mm.
I came back home. I had my camera. I saw that scene. I took a couple of pictures, but that
Mm-hmm.
one is the best one, and I like the way the light rays are coming, which is you can also see that in the original painting. I think this is a great picture
Yeah.
that conveys a lot of that. If I think that if I knew Edward Hopper's painting, I would try to do something more similar. But it was a huge coincidence that I didn't know about that specific art, and I did
And I think
something that is
it feels better, right? When you don't know,
yes, yes,
and
it's
then
what we call the
you
punctum, right? in Camera Lucida from Roland Barthes, the guy who wrote about art and philosophy. The punctum is something that you see on the image that you know that from somewhere. It's like the umami in photography.
Hmm.
So I think it has lots of punctum. Let me
Yeah.
get it from the printer and let's see.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Let me put my Canon software in full screen and let me zoom in a little bit here. So now I'm looking to a calibrated monitor, to my calibrated monitor, and the print side by side. The colors are nearly identical from my monitor and what I see on the paper. That's because I use the Canon paper,
Mm-hmm.
and it already has the ICC profiles. So the colors are
Yeah.
pretty accurate. Like these reds on the wall, they look like reds. The same tones of reds. The green on the shadows casting also looks similar.
Yeah.
So it's cool stuff. I think you can remove the camera feed for the printer now.
Oh, okay.
Let's do that and see if our images get a little bigger.
No, it's
Uh,
smaller.
yeah, it's smaller actually, yeah. But the
It's small.
colors I see here in my monitor, I don't know how people are seeing those, but I think
I
it's
think I
actually
see. Yeah.
accurate because if people who is watching this don't have a calibrated monitor, they will see both images in an uncalibrated monitor. So although it may so if what they see here and this print matches with the screen share in their screen, you see it's accurate,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right?
I see.
Even
It's
though a
the
monitor is
red
not
is yeah.
calibrated, even though this wall looks like green, if it is the same shade of green on their
Yeah.
monitors, it means that it's calibrated because what I have in my hands is similar than what I have in the software,
Yeah.
right? In the screen, I'm
Yep.
because my webcam feed
Yeah.
is also going through the same monitors they are watching us. So
Mm.
and
So yeah, I also seeing. So I open to.
I love that sound.
That's nice. I open to YouTube. So one with you here with your call. Second is on my iPad, and I think the color is also yeah pretty similar, like the
Yeah,
red, the greens, the black. It's good. It's good
yeah,
enough. Yeah.
yeah. Now it's time to sign this baby. Where do I
Yes.
sign? How do I sign? Which pen do I use? Do I sign
Yeah.
on
There is
pencil on
also
paper? Do I sign on the back? Like how do I sign this?
you
Where do
know
I
you know
sign?
yeah you know what? So far I signed on the back.
On the back,
Cause
right?
on
Yeah.
the back, cause I was thinking, Nick Carver. Do you know Nick Carver? I got inspired a lot of about pro printing from Nick Carver. So he did a lot of printing, pro print in panoramic. So he only did a panoramic, sometimes 6 by 9, and he signed it in front, like bottom right of the photo. So I think for me, cause the intention of people buying my prints now is to hanging in the wall or in the fridge, refrigerator, or on their desk, right? So having the sign, I feel like having the sign is interrupting the photo experience.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, Nick Carver already big. He had a fan already. So having that sign is a value added value to the prints. So I don't think at my level right now, my sign is adding value. What do you think about that?
I think if the sign is as minimalistic as possible
Mm-hmm.
and with a nice touch, I think if it complements the art, it's positive.
Mm-hmm.
So my name is Ref. I'm signing the letter R with a dot at the end. So it looks like this.
Oh, still blurry. Still blurry. Ah, okay. R. Only R. Yeah.
In gold pen. So I use a gold pen. I think that's elegant and minimalistic. But the problem is when we sign the print, we have to account where this printer will be added to. So, for example, if I have this little letter R, as I have here, and then I put it in something like this,
Yeah.
gonna
So
cut.
double border.
Yeah, it's gonna cut. So, in this case, should I not sign in the paper and sign it here? But at the
Makes
same
sense.
time, you know, it all depends, and we need to develop some consistency to always sign on the same places with the same signature, with the same pen and everything. So I'm
Yeah.
on
For
that.
now, I think I sign on the back. For now.
Yeah.
So usually I sign on the back plus date of printing. So when I print this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, signing on the back is interesting because you can use the same pen. Because usually the back side of the paper is friendly to pen.
Yeah.
Because if you got a luster paper, for example, or a glossy
Yeah.
paper, and you try to
Glossy
sign with a
paper.
pen
Yeah.
or a pencil, it will not get in,
Yeah.
right? Unless you use a pen that drops lots of ink, which is something you might not want because
And
it's
sometimes in the glossy paper when you sign, and then the pen ink still wet, you can damage the
yeah,
you know you
exactly.
can damage
Yeah,
the photo.
yeah,
Yeah. So be careful on that.
yeah. I want to try panorama printing.
Me too.
Yeah,
But buying a roll of paper is expensive.
it is. Yeah, I
So
think.
my favorite paper Hanyemu is 60,000 Japanese yen, meaning 500 USD per roll.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
for panorama is nice, and the problem is you also need a cutter to cut that,
Yeah.
and you need a
You
good.
also need the roller.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need a tabletop cutter
Yeah,
where you can put
tabletop
the
cutter.
image and like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's expensive as well.
Yeah,
That's
yeah, it's like
another
$100.
money. Yeah,
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 you're
yeah.
not gonna get a scissors and just cut it.
Yeah, no, no, no,
It's
no.
something
Yeah.
that needs precision because you don't want to
Yeah.
get because each paper, it's like it can cost $10 just in the paper for a panorama print,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And it's a thick roll of paper. Like this is
And
thick.
yeah,
This is a thick paper. You can tell by the when I do this.
the sound. Yeah, the
Yeah.
sound.
So and it's interesting because thickness of the paper. Exactly. They are yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good, nice, beautiful print, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah, it's on Hanyemul.
Nice. Yeah, I gotta try the Hanimal when I use all these Canon papers I have. So the thickness of the paper, it's great for when you're getting it in your hands, but for matte paper, the amount of ink that is dropped in this paper is so much that if the paper is thin, it becomes abrasive, and then it does. If you look against the light like that, you can see so the paper needs to hold a structure. The paper needs to be thick for matte printing. I think I may be wrong. I'm a beginner on this.
Yeah, me
But
too. So
this printer here is so interesting because here in this black area, this shadow area, and also on the floor, the webcam I'm using cannot show that, especially because there's like streaming qualities and stuff. But if you look, you
there are
can see
details on that.
different shades of gray in the darkness, in the shadow area. You can, and if you look closely, you can see there is a door here, right?
Yeah.
And here you can see the sidewalk texture and stuff like that. And that's because this
Yeah.
printer we are using has 5 inks just dedicated for black,
Yeah.
right? It is
Same.
cyan,
Yeah.
magenta, yellow, key. Yes, exactly. So the blacks caught my attention, especially for black and white prints.
Yeah.
The blacks on this Canon 310 printer is amazing,
Yeah. It's
right?
crazy amazing. Yeah. And it's because it's Lucia Pro 2,
Yeah,
it's lasts for 200 years. The
yeah,
colors.
Yeah,
It's last for 200 years
yeah.
in,
And
in
that's
this
what is
paper.
interesting. That very same color, right? And
Yeah.
that's what people mostly don't realize, because in the last 30 years, digital technologies changed the way media is displayed by a lot. You have CRT TVs,
Mm,
then you have flat screen TVs, then you have
mm.
LCD panels, then you have LED panels, then you have LED panels with HDR, then now you have Vision Pro, Apple 3D stuff. It changes a
Retina
lot.
display. Yeah.
It changes a
Yeah.
lot. So for your granddaughter or your grandson, right? When you already pass away, 100 years from now,
Mm,
right? What you put in the paper is what they will see.
mm.
And
Yeah.
with digital technologies, we always think that it's here to stay and it's not going to change. When LCD monitors came replacing tube TVs, we thought, oh no, that's it. Now that's it. Now we don't want anything else until LED comes. And then LED, oh, now LED is, and then OLED comes.
Yeah.
And
And
oh,
then
oh,
retina.
OLED, and then OLED HDR comes. And then like it's constantly changing over the last like 20 years. I can say that digital medium changed majorly
Mm,
7 to 8 times,
mm.
from tube to flat screens, from flat screens to LCD, RGB connectors. You remember these VGA connectors that
Yeah. Yeah.
you,
VGA. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
and then HDMI with color and different color gamut and different color spectrum, and then different display technology and backlit, and
Mm,
it changes a lot. So I mean, the content is the same, the images you display are the same, but it's not the same as you're looking. It's like the difference when you get a vintage musical instrument and you look to it and you see like that's how made music 100 years ago in this very same instrument.
yeah.
Depending on the level of sensitivity of people who consuming that, it changes, it touches them. it,
Mm,
it touches them enough to make them
mm,
disburse money and get that print.
mm, mm.
So I also prefer matte paper. Matte paper is more complicated to print because there's
Yeah.
this abrasion,
Yeah.
and also I don't know if matte versus glossy, if the paper requires more ink. Something tells me that, and that's why you need to specify the paper type on the printer
Mm,
software.
yeah. Yeah.
Something tells me that matte papers, they absorb more pigments, more ink, and the printer needs to drop more to add more. It uses more ink, I
To
think.
reach the same amount of color displayed
Yes,
in the different. Yeah.
exactly. I
Yeah.
think the matte, the glossy papers requires less,
Mm, mm.
I think.
I
And the
think it makes
thicker the
sense. Yeah.
paper is, the more, because
The
the
more, of
more the
course. Yeah.
ink penetrates in the paper,
Yeah. Yeah. Need to enter the
right? The more
paper.
they
Yeah.
absorb.
Yeah. Why?
And
Yeah. What?
and
Sorry.
that's why the Canon Pro 1000 is interesting, because it gives you the cost estimate per print.
Yeah.
And
But
if you change the
at the same,
paper,
yeah. But at the same time, Canon. I think, yeah. Before I bought this, I actually thinking about the Canon 1000 Pro 1000.
hmm.
But um, a lot of reviews, including Nick Carver, says like it's a workhorse. It's a
Oh yeah.
workhorse. Then you need to constantly make a print. So
Hmm.
in I think at my level, like my printing cycle,
Yeah.
I don't think I'm at that level. And then if I'm not at that level, like cleaning cycle, right? Cleaning
Yes.
cycle takes a lot of ink, and then the ink in Pro 1000 is very expensive,
Yes.
500
Yes. Yes.
USD
They are bigger
for set.
tanks, right?
Yeah,
Each little
yeah,
tank you put inside
yeah,
the printing head, they are
yeah,
larger, because
yeah,
it's for more enhanced usage. So
yeah,
I think the 310 is the optimum point for the prosumer,
yeah.
the artist
It's
who
it's a good starting point,
yeah,
right?
yeah. A
Yeah.
friend who worked for Canon gave me the tip of like print twice a week. Because if you print
Mm,
twice a week, you'll leave the printing head active. Because if you don't print for a while, the next print you're gonna do, the printer is gonna ask for
cleaning cycle. Yeah,
cleaning the heads. So
yeah, which
print
is
twice a
drain
week.
your ink.
And he said that the cleaning uses lots of ink
Yeah, drain
because it
the
kind of
ink.
gets to flush whatever is in the
Yeah,
in
yeah,
the electronic context, whatever. So
yeah.
I print things like Tuesdays and Saturdays, and I am always printing
Mm,
something and archiving
mm,
something, which is interesting because I'm selling the storytelling, not the print. The print is just the realization of the storytelling.
mm-hmm,
When I print something, it's time to create a post talking about that photo. So I'm using the Substack mail delivery mechanism because
mm-hmm.
Substack is a newsletter platform, right?
Yeah,
Primarily. So you write a post gets delivered to your subscribers' inboxes, email inbox. That's a very good value that you have. It's
very
different than a
personal. Yeah,
very
very
personal,
personal.
yeah, and it's different than a subscriber on Instagram, a follower on Instagram that you just post something and they receive when they open the app. People receive emails. So if you are selling prints and leveraging that mechanism to sell the prints, it's powerful because you're always sending emails about things you're selling, and the chances of people buying is
Yeah,
higher.
yeah,
So I think that's a good strategy.
yeah, yeah. Do you think at our level right now, who just started, do you think creating a limited edition is makes sense? Because I know my favorite photographer, one of my favorite, Kit Young, if you know, he did a darkroom printing and always limited, only like 12 or
For
20.
darkroom printing, it makes lots of sense because the reproducibility of that you requires you to go to the darkroom to print, and you actually it's harder to print on demand for darkroom prints because you gotta have a very high volume of
Mm.
like 5 or 6 prints to create when you go to a darkroom print to do on
To
demand
not waste
printing
the
correctly.
chemical as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, because there's the whole logistics of the chemicals. So
Mm.
for darkroom prints, I think it makes lots of sense to do limited editions. But when you can print at a click of a button and have a good quality, which again is not the same quality as a darkroom print, but an very acceptable quality, I think printing on demand makes more sense. Unless we become consecrated photographers and people will, look to us to buy our prints without having us to advertise them. So
Mm.
I think that signature signed. I don't know. I think that my plan would be the latter side. Everything that is smaller than an A3, I'm not gonna do limited editions.
Mm.
I think I'm gonna do limited editions for A3 and
And
beyond,
panoramic,
and panoramic, and these things that because the way I
at
see
least.
limited editions is you print before you sell. Because then
Mm.
you have a product. That product is limited. You have 4 of it.
Mm. Mm.
You printed those. So when I print before I sell, I can do limited editions and I can commit myself to not print these again,
Again. Yeah.
right? And
Because
if
you
a
put
friend of
you
my if
already
my
put the
mom,
number
if my mother asks, "Oh, can I have that print?" Sorry, mom, it's limited edition.
limited
So
edition.
you
You
know,
miss out.
and because of the rarity of that item, I think I will do limited prints only on big sizes. Then it makes sense because I print them
At
before I
least.
sell, and then but
Yeah.
also I don't know, limited editions are something that you have to be very Paul McCartney level of
Yeah.
godness,
Yeah.
to create
Yeah. Yeah.
limited editions because
I mean,
it's already
limited
hard.
edition.
It's
Yeah.
already hard to get people buying things that are not limited. Like, and you're
Yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
limit even
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta be
Yeah.
Paul McCartney to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
gotta be
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Madonna. You gotta be like, it's
Yeah.
already hard to
You're not
have.
so later. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. You're not Magnum. So
Yeah.
I don't know, like for prosumer level, if limited editions are something interesting.
Yeah.
Because of that, like you're struggling on having people buying the non-limited ones because limited you're
Yeah.
gonna have to raise the price because you commit yourself with not making more money out of that art, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I think yeah.
maybe
How
limited
about like
limited editions make lots of sense for darkroom prints.
yeah. How about like limited edit? You do the exhibition, you print them, and you have limited edition from your exhibition. Is it make sense? Only even on our level, does that make sense to you?
I think for the big sizes, yes. For the big sizes, yes. But I also assume that from the point the buyer discovers that another edition of that is a click away, they have to trust you a lot that you're
Yeah.
not gonna print another one for a friend of yours.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So maybe I will do limited editions for darkroom prints because I think that
Hmm.
everything that the media gets used in terms of uh, used in terms of um, using it and degrading the quality of it a little bit, like a vinyl. Every time you play a
Hmm.
vinyl, you reduce the lifespan by a little percent. It may be
Oh, I just
0.1%,
know.
but every time that you use that you use media, and the media is the value of that media is reduced when you use like a vinyl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or a digital negative. Like if
Mm-hmm.
you get a digital negative and you go on the darkroom prints, you
Mm-hmm.
always have a chance of scratching that, and then that's a permanent
Yeah.
damage. Permanent damage, destructive interactions.
Yeah.
So every time I deal with media that has destructive interactions and permanent damage by using, that's when I make sense doing limited editions on things. But from the moment
Yeah.
something becomes a file or something is digital and you can reprint with a click of a button, I don't see that much sense on making limited editions of those
Makes
because it's the
sense.
nature of how things work, and that's the very same reason why I think NFTs,
Yeah. 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 NFTs.
you know, like a digital file by nature. I'm a technologist, so a digital file by
Yeah.
nature is has reproducibility, and
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to charge for exclusiveness or to charge for limited things where you can reproduce with no loss. You know, because a
Yeah.
negative always have the risk of damaging the negative, and that's why old negatives that are in good conditions are rare. And
Yeah.
that's why the limited editions of prints of these old and rare negatives are highly priced because it's a destructible interaction. Every time you're interacting with that, you can destroy. And
You can
and
damage.
you can say,
Yeah.
but you can also accidentally delete the file. But that's dumbness. That's different.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not that
Yeah.
that doesn't require expertise. That doesn't require, mastering the craft. That's what
Yeah.
I think. So that's why I'm not doing limited prints unless I'm darkroom printing. I think darkroom prints makes lots of sense with because then you have the analog thing end to end. Because the limited prints is very related to the analog world. Because the
I think
limited
so.
print adds lots of singularity to a specific object, a real life object, like a print. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it does make sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And yeah, again, we are not on the soul leader level yet.
Yeah, when we get there,
I mean,
maybe we can get the traction to sell limited prints of digitally created artifacts, like
yeah.
an inkjet printing. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I know an
Right.
artist called Shag. He's from Los Angeles, and he's a drawer, and he creates illustrations, and he does sell limited prints in his boutique store in Los Angeles, in Palm Springs, California. But again, he's consecrated. He is very famous. People look for that. But Ref from cameraclara.com in 2025, it's not on that level yet. I have to be realistic. I'm selling my prints on demand. They are good qualities. They have storytelling. They are beautiful moments that I put on paper. And if people want to support the artist and buy the prints, just get them. I'm gonna print with all the love in the world. I'm gonna sign them. I'm gonna put in a nice packaging. I'm gonna ship. and you're gonna receive something beautiful you can put in your wall and you can tell a story about it.
Yeah.
Maybe within 10 years, I do exhibitions where I do signed prints, and because from the moment a negative, a film photo taken from a negative, from the moment it becomes a file, and from the moment this file becomes a print, if you're offering that limited edition, you have to find a way to get rid of that file, and nobody will find that file, because then that limited edition is a unit, is a single rare item.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, you
Because
can still have the
yeah.
negative, but you gotta find a way to get rid of that file.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah.
someone finds the file, they can easily replicate that,
Yeah.
right? Because when people buy a print, they may buy the print because of the print or because of the artist, right?
That's two ways.
That's
Yeah.
how the art market works. The you know,
Yeah.
and that's
Exactly.
it. Like we may get there, but so far it's pretentious to sell limited prints, being who we are. I'm not
Yeah.
reducing ourselves. I'm just being realistic. I mean, you can do
Realistic.
nothing stops you on doing,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
you're not gonna sell. People
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
Who is this guy? You know,
I
it's
mean, we
people can do
yeah.
whatever
I
they
mean, I'm
want,
still
but it's just my
yeah.
recommendation. You may not get enough traction.
Yeah. I'm still struggling to consistently selling non-limited prints. So why why I do a limited prints, right? So yeah, but I'm trying to build a good printing cycle, a good printing sales cycle. Now, so far, now I think I have at least once order per week, which is
Oh,
not
that's
bad
great.
for
That's
me.
great.
That's
Yeah,
great. I just sent,
I
I
should
just
try to
shipped.
find a way to sell in the Japanese market.
Yeah, yeah. I just shipped last week, three orders to Singapore, and they
Oh, that's
just
great.
arrived.
That's
Yeah,
nice.
that's really great, and it's through the same um, platform, the stores.jp, which is they can also receive a payment from overseas using credit card.
Yeah, that's
So I think
awesome.
it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The good
Shopify
thing
is
about
expensive, right?
Shopify is they charge $30 per month. So it's a lot.
Well, yeah.
But you can create, like when you create a.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I'm using a high-end microphone, and the preamp turns off after 2 hours. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, but it's fine. Because I forgot the preamp turned on and it's tube, and then I don't want the. So I have lots of references about music, because I'm also a musician. That's why all my
Because music
examples.
is everywhere.
Yeah. So where I was.
Selling Shopify.
Oh yeah, you can. So when you create a Substack, if you want to create paid subscriptions for your Substack, you can associate with a Stripe account, and once you have a
Yeah.
Stripe account, you can create products on Stripe, and you can get links for these products. And Substack is the way I communicate with my audience, and I
Audience.
can put the buy links from Stripe in the posts. So I don't need a
Yeah.
storefront. My storefront will actually be. So I plan doing monthly collections. So every time I want to sell a print, I create a post about that print, and I tell the story about that print, and I save that post. Within a month, I get the 3 or 4 posts that is selling a print, and I create that as a monthly collection. So October print collection, and then that's the page where I'm going to sell the prints for that month, and each print will have a story. So that's what I say
Yeah.
when I'm selling the storytelling, and the print is just the realization of the storytelling. I'm not
That's
selling
a
the
great.
print. I'm
That's
selling
a
the
great way
storytelling.
to say. Yeah, that's a great way.
Because
I mean, yeah.
I always think about, like, when I have people at home, guests coming here for whatever, watching baseball game on the TV. If they see the print on the wall, they're gonna comment, "Oh, that's a nice picture." if me as a host, I have something to talk about that picture, I look intellectual. I look like I support an independent photographer, and it's interesting. So I feel that has more. I mean, for street photography, which is the type of prints I intend on selling, because if you just put this guy, like, who is this guy watching this TV with this ATM and watching this game? What the hell is this?
In a
Or like,
pizza store.
who is this guy walking here, you know? But if you
Yeah.
know that this guy is a Jew, that and this picture was taken from inside a cab with a film camera, and then what are the references of this picture, that's a storytelling. That's something you have to talk about when someone asks you about this print. That's what I'm
Yeah.
focusing on.
Yeah.
For
That's
print
great.
photography, for street photography prints, I think
Yeah.
the formula. For landscapes or art or portraits or fashion photography, it's a different game. Maybe the print
Yeah.
can speak for itself. For a portrait, because a beautiful picture of a mountain or a beautiful picture of a lake does well on a hall or on a, on a reception or on a living room. It speaks by
Yeah.
itself.
That's my framework. Because my
Yeah,
my
no, you have
photos
awesome
mostly, yeah,
landscape. Yeah.
my mostly my photos are landscape or abstract, like something in the streets and mundane everyday scenes. So I think my framework was always where I think people will buy this, like put it on, like in the wall, in the desk, on the refrigerator, like fridge, or where. So from that part, I can like have an informed decision on, oh, maybe this one is good on the wall. Yeah, so I still connect to the photos while also still have a chance to get the print sales from them. Yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, it's already, it's almost 2 hours, so I don't want to keep you here longer because I know it's a work. It's a weekdays. You need to work. It's
Yeah.
10 a.m. Oh, sorry, 11 a.m. on
Yep.
your almost 11 a.m. So again, thanks so much, Raf, for coming in, tuning in. Appreciate it a lot. Definitely share to me and to everyone about the progress of your print sales, and maybe we can talk more about street photography or anything
Yeah, I would
in
love to talk about
next
street
next live.
photography, cameras I
Yeah,
use, techniques I
yeah,
do.
cameras. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it would be great to do a live again in the future.
yeah.
So, but for now, thanks so much again. Appreciate you a lot and have a great day on your work.
All right,
Hopefully, it's fine.
all right. Great. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Bye bye.